We're doing some dev. I'm debugging why Vercel is out of memory when I use Terser. I think we have some other stuff going on. I think people have PRs as usual, things that they need review on. I should really have a bot that says when I go live on Discord. I don't know if that exists. I will probably search for that. And maybe I can give privileges to other people to just install stuff. I feel like I'm not very good at running Discord. I'm good at participating, but not very good at running it overall. So I think like I just don't know the tools. I'm not in that many Discords. So maybe somebody else can take what they like the most from their community and bring over the best parts, leave the worst. I'm just happy our Discord seems to have daily messages. That's a good place to be. What up, Anch? Welcome. Good to see you. How am I? I am good. Still correcting my sleep schedule a little bit. As you probably know, I was like doing reviews for you like 8 hours ago or 9 hours ago. So I basically go to bed doing reviews, wake up, do more reviews, which is good, I guess. But I'm good. Let me check my my GitHub notifications, see if anything came in here. That's interesting. All right, we got a PR on docs. Let's get rid of that. That doesn't look too relevant. Okay, some closed PRs. Upload command. I think people were asking me about this. README documentation for testing purposes. This one looks easy. Oh, okay, so he removed a thing I didn't like. Somebody else reviewing this? All right, it looks like Rishab is on top of this, so I'm not going to do it. Ayush, what up? What is going on, my man? That's all right. No. I'm sorry, Absi. Let's I'll leave a comment with the review time. Let's see. What is this? 3 minutes into stream? All right. 3-minute point. CLI config. What is going on? All right, you know what? This isn't ready. No. Doing good. I'm glad. No. What is all of this? Mock configs. No. Let's see. Trying to figure out the best way to help him. He removed my peacock config, which is pretty funny. You know, I don't know if this has been updated since I gave the feedback, so I'm not going to do too much review. I think the main thing is the, let's see, in git test server, you'll want to do something like process.m.tscircuit auth token equals test token. All right, I'll leave that as my comment. Hopefully that's a little bit of guidance. The mock configs he was actually removing, so that's good. Yeah, I do not like mocks. You might have to modify the config like class a little bit. I think there's like a config class. You might need to modify the config class. Yeah, we don't like mocks. Talked about on stream. Last time we briefly explored, can I like get a timestamp from YouTube with like the current time? And it took too long. I couldn't figure out how to do it very, very quickly. So if somebody wants to automate this process where I can hit like a raycast button and it just pastes in my timestamp, that would make my life easier. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep complaining about it. Maintenance tracker is up by 90%. I mean, 86. Let's see it get to 95. See it get to 95. I'm pretty sure 95 is our... ported the docs to... Oh, wow. This is a big PR, actually. You know, I didn't expect anybody to do this. It's funny the things that people will automatically do. This one's going to be a little bit of a headache. Because I have to understand Docusaurus as well. Figure image. So there's like a different way. I guess that's how you do images in Docusaurus. It looks like most of the porting was just doc sidebar, API reference, theme config. Yeah. Yes, that sounds good. Yes, Algolia. Okay. So after this sponsor, it's going to be up by $300. After this sponsor, it's going to be up by $300. I don't 100% know what you mean by that. But I think it's $20 for every month that's over 95. See, it gets $20 added to your GitHub sponsorships. That's what you get for maintenance of that number. Add full screen button. Okay. Add viewport height to run frame. What is this? I don't know if I like this title. Package lock. What is this? What does this fix? I'm so confused. He doesn't have a claim in here. Oh, he's claiming this one. Okay. So he's claiming run frame for CLI should take up an entire viewport. Let's see. Run frame for CLI should take up entire viewport. So he said, all right, I'm going to make the run frame always take up the entire screen. Is that an appropriate fix? That might be an okay fix. And then let's see, resolve conflicts. Make sure to remove package lock. Yeah, and Anch is already reviewing here. These are actually good reviews for what it's worth, Anch. Good job. These are good reviews. I like to see that kind of stuff. All right, so let's see. I think we're pretty good. This last update was 9 hours ago. I have no way to like clear out all my notifications. I don't think it's possible. Is it? Select all. Done. Yeah, because it says I have 300. Oh, select all 3,000. Can I do that? Oh, please let me do it, GitHub. I don't think it's going to let me do it. Yeah, select them all. Done. All right. We just declared a notification bankruptcy. I think it's taking some time to process. So hopefully my stuff is it's a little easier to see the latest notifications. I know people get mad when I miss notifications. What about GSOC? Have you checked about that? No, I haven't. I would defer to Rishab on that. Maybe. You can try to make it easy for me. I don't even know what I have to do, for example, you know. Oh. Oh, that tea. Hold on, I need to. That tea was not fully washed. All right, I'm gonna go AFK for 5 seconds while I fix that tea. That was a bad bit of tea right there. Oh my gosh. Oh. All right, we're back. Damn, right on the money with that timer. Yeah, so currently the issue I'm having, can you give me more detail on fake Algora? Like we already do real payments. They're only fake. Yeah, I mean, so what is a fake? A fake is like a black box implementation, right? So basically, did we already make fake Algora the repo? I'm also wondering if we want to do this via Algora too. Because instead of, yeah, well, let's do it. Let's do. Okay, we already have fake Algora. Hey Sevi, I am joining your stream first time. I have messaged you on Discord. Awesome. Welcome, Sarab. Welcome. Rohit, what up? Good night. Good evening. You know, it's weird. We don't really say, I don't know. You don't say good night unless you're leaving, right? If it's, you can't like just colloquially, you can't say good night. And you would say it's a nice night. You wouldn't say good night because that would mean you're leaving. Anyway, good. It's a nice night. You know, there's not really like an expression for it. I think I would just say good evening. So. Anyway, our problem is that Vercel is giving us out of memory errors when we have. I actually just found this out this morning. When Terser is enabled, Terser is a minifier. So I'm going to show you guys. We're going to deploy this to Vercel, and then we're going to get a really nasty error about it being out of memory. Hey Sevi, can you check the skeleton loading issue of snippet? I have implemented it, but if you mention it, can you give me some advice? I thought you did okay on this one, but I just don't like. Sometimes I just like delegate who I want to review. So like, yeah, I've already kind of reviewed it. What's going on here? I'm not great at design. I just want something consistent with the project and pleasant to watch. I think like, I think Shibo is looking for a loading animation. I'd be okay with a simple skeleton, but I think everybody is on the same page when like, you know, your skeleton is too complex for sure. It's a crazy complex skeleton that doesn't even match the page layouts. So like we're all on the same page that this skeleton definitely isn't good. Like this is not how any page looks, right? The only thing that is correct about this is these two buttons up here and the TS Circuit logo. But the header buttons, for example, they change orientation depending on the page. These center ones, so they either go to the left or they're centered. On the landing page, they're centered. And then this is like never text like this. Sometimes there's like bigger blocks, and then a sidebar. Like some pages have a sidebar, but it never looks like this. So I think like you could simplify the skeleton and maybe add a loader. Like you could, for example, remove the header elements and then remove this and replace it with some kind of like ... sort of loader, something like that. LinkedIn has a logo animation. I don't know. Yeah, that's what LinkedIn does. Yeah, that's a good point actually. That's pretty interesting. Hold on. Maybe without the big text, just like that little bar is fine, you know? But without the big text. The big LinkedIn. We don't need to plant our logo on it. Yeah. I think that's what Shiba is saying. Like I'm not so picky, but I think you have to have people do this kind of, like, I think picky people make for a really good product. So like I think Shiba's head is in the right place on this one. Hey, I cannot run eval web worker on local. It says waiting for renderer all the time. That's not eval web worker, that's run frame. You're talking about run frame, unknown traveler. Eval web worker, I think, has its own set of issues. But anyway, are you using Gitpod or something? Because I discussed, like, where are you running it locally? Because if you scroll up on Discord, a lot of people have trouble running run frame in Gitpod, and it's because of Cosmos. I actually posted on Cosmos's Discord, and I said, hey guys, like, I can't figure out how to get this to work, but there is this thing called a renderer URL that you can configure with Cosmos. So if you really want to, if you're really committed to Gitpod, you could you could probably figure it out. But code space, yeah. So the problem is, if you look at run frame, we can open up run frame briefly. If you look at run frame, so we're starting our start script, and it runs a server on localhost 5001. So this is Cosmos, and this part is probably working for you. Now, if I click one of these, it loads in the main content, and if you click on this thing to make it external, you can see, it's kind of hard to see on my screen, but it runs on localhost 5050, okay? Localhost 5050. So Cosmos runs 2 servers, and this inner content is inside of an iframe, okay? So the problem is, on CodeSpace, they don't like to use localhost they basically can't use localhost. So the problem is, it's just not pointed to the right URL. So if you go inside the Cosmos config, you can actually add a renderer URL, because this is called the renderer frame, right? If I right click this, it should say, yeah, it says view frame source. So it's an iframe. So you can definitely configure Cosmos's iframe URL, but like I don't use that stuff. I actually looked for a quick way to use it, and it wasn't, like, I didn't find something immediately. We might pay for code spaces in the future, but I don't think I have it set up where I can just start it. Otherwise, maybe I would work on this. Let me see. Maybe I do, actually. I could help. Code space usage for this repository is paid for by Sevi Ibar. Huh. Huh. Am I paying for code spaces? Oh boy. All right. Well, let me just jot down a quick note. Let me just jot a quick note to myself about let's see. So check code space usage. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good to that's interesting. But you know what? I think if I was paying for people's code spaces, I feel like it would display here. So I'm probably not paying for anybody. I don't know how much there is to say on the Algora fake. For the Algora fake, you want to Yeah, I mean, what is there to say on the Algora fake? You got to create a fake Algora and then replicate the API calls that you whatever you need to do whatever you want to do. If you want to pay people, yeah. Um, Also, this is new. Copilot start task. You can ask Copilot to do things. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll do that at some point. I think that interops with CodeSpace, so we would have to use CodeSpace. To be honest, I don't always love code spaces as a development thing. You guys haven't seen me use them. They're but I do like it when they work. So that's my position. I want them to work because I think they are useful because they set up a whole workspace for you. But our projects run so consistently that and we have 200 repos. So having code spaces is a little bit annoying to set up for every repo. Anyway, somebody told me that these tests fail, so I'm checking that. Looks like they're passing, so I don't know what that was about. All the tests are fine. Just validating all these wild Discord claims. I got some gunpowder green tea. I don't think I tried it before. Yeah, I drink a lot of gunpowder green tea now. That's funny. Did I say I drank gunpowder green tea? It's so cheap and it's so much of it and it's so strong. It's pretty good. Yeah. It's pretty funny. So what you got to do is get gunpowder green tea and then do like a 1/3 to 1/2 if you really like the flavor osmanthus mix. Just on Amazon. I mean, I've got a lot of Chinese teas from Taiwan right now because I was in Taiwan recently, but I don't like to drink those so much. So, which one? I don't know. I'll come more prepared tomorrow and I'll grab the bag. I don't want to pull my Amazon history for fear of all the crazy things. Gunpowder in a tea. Damn, what a blast. Agreed. For maintenance tracker, as I made status JSON, there's further work on fake. Yeah, so yeah, so what you're trying to do is make it so that maintenance tracker, if it has 95%, is going to automatically pay you on Algora, right? So that's the full pipeline that you want. So the thing you have to build is a script that once a month can run and do a payout via Algora. So you need the fake so that you can test that script, right? So like work backwards from the test. Like you need a test that you can pay based on the status from Algora, right? I'm gonna leave this to you as an exercise because this is a relatively easy one, I think. But if you get stuck, I can help you. There's too many and it's a big price range. Yeah. I feel like I probably got one that was really recommended on Amazon. I feel like I didn't go too crazy with the green tea. Like I'm not too much of a snob. I do like I'm a snob insofar as I'm a snob as much as somebody likes dark chocolate, right? Like you know what percent you like. Because I like to do a little mix. What are we talking about? We're talking about on maintenance.tscircuit.com, people will get paid automatically if they maintain a certain metric. So Ansh is working on that system that does automatic payment if this metric is high. So in theory, there are things that we would want to maintain and people would get paid out for those. There's it's interesting the incentives of a system like this, but I think there are a couple things I could throw at this. Yeah, I think there's a couple interesting things you can do, especially with moving metrics. So for example, I could say like I've had to do migrations before, and you track percent migrated, and so I could track things like percent migrated, and I could say, oh, every month it should go up by 5%. If we maintain that goal, then we get this. Yeah. So can we all work? Anybody can work on TS Circuit. We have let's see how many dollars of bounties we have currently. We have about $1,000 a month, maybe a little bit more, maybe like $1,500 a month in GitHub sponsorships, and then we also have $2,400 in open bounties. So just click on this open bounties button, and you can see our open bounties. And then the other thing you can do is I like to go on this website, Issue Roulette, which is also made by Ansh, and I talk about the issues here, and I also add bounties. So we'll play Issue Roulette soon. Yeah, so it's real. So for what we have real Algora API, make fake or like make fake. Yes, you make the fake, you test it against the fake, and then you test it against the fake, and then you swap the base URL from the fake to the real one, and then it should still work. So the fake is basically there to help you test. Fakes are usually at the beginning there to help you test. They can also do other things, but the main thing is it should help you write a test. Is it gambling? No. How is it gambling? You complete an issue on GitHub, you get paid. So if somebody implements this internally connected ports prop, which is a great issue, by the way, they'll get $25. That's it. You just have to create a pull request. People get bounties every day. People close bounties every day. There's a channel on our Discord where you can see all the bounties getting closed. Okay, so anyway, we're getting a Vercel out of memory event during build. And this is because we have a dependency that has I think a big blob URL. And what I've tested is that it has to do something with this cursor minifier. So we're going to do some AI nonsense as usual. And we're going to see if Claude can help us figure out what's going on. So I added a dependency which is causing the build process to get out of memory when I have cursor in my Vite config. I want to keep cursor on to keep my bundle small, but I don't want it to use this dependency to minify this dependency. What can I do? By the way, when people are talking to AI, one of the biggest things I see is that they're not adding enough detail, or they have typos and stuff like that. And just prompt better. Proud to say I make like good things. Yeah, the issue roulette is very good. It's very good. Good job on that one. You did a great job. People use AI to fix. That's new. Yeah, of course. It's the thing. Okay, let's read what it said. But anyway, the biggest problem I see with people prompting AI is they're just not prompting well. Like they're like, oh, AI is bad. Even with Devin, if you like try to understand what Devin is going to have to do, like it's not going to solve the whole world for you. Just like prompts, just like, explain what you like your intent to. It's like people could be actually winning a lot more PRs and a lot more bounties if they just prompted a lot better. It's all it comes down to. All right, so it's saying vendor no minify. Vendor no minify, problematic dependency. Vendor no minify. A custom rollup plugin that prevents minification for that chunk. Is it really that complicated to avoid using Terser on a dependency? Generate bundle, enforce post, generate bundle, chunk type, file name includes vendor no minify. That's crazy. They want us to use a custom plugin. Wow, I kind of hate this. In a future, better prompter equals better developer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And like give it multiple tries too, like literally restart and like work on your prompt. It's definitely, yeah, it's definitely like frustrating to see somebody struggle on an easy issue because like they just didn't prompt well. All right, so this is really complicated. I don't like this at all. I have like another idea that I want to try before we do custom Vite plugins, just because it seems pretty complicated. So we're getting the out of memory error. I'm gonna try to make the import dynamic. And see if that causes it to minify differently. So we know what the problematic import is. It's this run frame dependency because it includes like an entire TS circuit runtime and all of that. So this is the problematic dependency. So let's try doing a dynamic import for it, which is also nice because the page might load a little bit faster. I haven't really worked with dynamic imports, but I think our main app does this, lazy import. So import lazy import. So we can try that. So we're gonna import. Where's lazy import? Oh wow, we got a whole little thing here. Import function await lazy. This seems complicated. Do you really need this much complexity? This function really shouldn't be defined in the app.tsx either. It should really be like a utility function or something. It seems like this is mostly to handle like common JS sort of stuff. And it looks like it's probably a little bit too fancy. It looks like it's fancier than it even needs to be. I'm thinking of make a tool where we pay people sponsors automatically as you wanted, like sponsorship discrepancy system. But the problem is, what are its points to measure that? Can you give me some idea about that? The contribution tracker already tracks points. You can literally just take the points in the contribution tracker, and if we use GitHub sponsorships once a month, just generate a spreadsheet that has the amounts for people. You can literally do that. The only thing is I want to use moving averages, but we can talk about that. That's easy to implement, so don't worry about that. But moving average means if you do 100 PRs in 1 month, your average doesn't shoot up that quickly. So it takes consistent contribution for your average to shoot up. But yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna try to use the React lazy thing without any of that fancy. I don't know why it wrote that really long import. It seems a little unnecessary. So let's see. From lazy React, and then we'll say run for it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it's saying type doesn't work. And I think that's because, okay. I think I understand that. So basically this module has multiple exports. Yeah, it's something like that, but I don't even think this module has a default like that. I think it's like that. Okay, so it's saying argument is not assignable to parameter. It's kind of hard to read. Hmm. See how React Lazy works. Just trying to understand a little bit. Streak bonus. Yeah, streak bonus is great. Yeah. Unknown Traveler, that's a great idea. Streak bonus. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, we want to gamify it a little bit. Do you play any games? I play some games. I played Helldivers 2 yesterday. Yeah, that game's pretty fun. I'm playing Sackboy. He's still a little strong. I'm playing Sackboy with my girlfriend currently. I want to tell you, I have just checked. I have 85 plus merged PR in TS Circuit. I think I am old here. Yeah, you're doing great, Anj. You're doing great. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Yeah, so it looks pretty simple. I don't know. Yeah, it's very strange, actually. Okay. I'm just going to play with this a minute because it's not what the usage isn't quite what I expected. So what is Markdown Preview a component that is suspensed? I think it's a suspensed component. Oh, it wants me to put it inside of suspense. Okay. Oh, it's kind of strange. Oh, okay. I think I understand. It has to be like this because you can't destructure the promise. Then this has to be async. I don't know why it's giving me a type error though. Because I'm returning a component. Default run. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's fine. So it expects the default export, which I consider bad practice. So that's fine. Yeah, this should probably be in its own file. So we'll say suspense run frame, and we'll include the suspense stuff in there as well. I'm always bore you with my personal TS circuit stats. Look, dude, someday when we are something, like when we're like a real framework that a lot of people use, that's going to be like huge, you know? It's going to be like, you know, like, whoa, this dude was foundational. But right now, like we're in the grind, man. Like, you know, all of my work doesn't really matter until it's used by people, until there are tons of physical boards, circuit boards in the world that use our stuff. Like, you know, so it's like it is an achievement. It's a big deal. But I'm looking at the, you know, I'm trying to. I'm trying to imagine how we can get everybody to use us for electronic design. So it's just that's why I'm, you know, shruggish on it. I'm like, you know, we're the king of our tiny islands. Yeah, does that work? Component props, run frame. So hopefully that comes through okay. But now we have this lazy loaded run frame. This is pretty good even if this doesn't fix the Terser problem, but I am hoping it fixes the Terser problem because now we're telling Terser invite, hey, you can't load this at the same time as the other bundle. It's not inside of the same chunk. So it's kind of a double win, hopefully. But yeah, so hopefully this usage of suspense fixes our out of memory issue. So I'm going to deploy to Vercel, but let's check that it works too. It just takes so long to deploy to Vercel. I'm going to do them in parallel. Future Elon right here. You know, I mean, look, I hope. I don't think Elon did a lot of live streaming. So unfortunately, I think we travel different paths. Do you see that little loading? See how it said loading there briefly? That's because it was loaded with suspense. It's pretty hard to see. So you got loading up here, then you got loading in there, and so that second loading, it's actually very nice because this bundle is huge. This bundle, it doesn't look like it on my screen, but yeah, that bundle is huge. So that's actually going to be very nice for our editor load times. So that's pretty nice. So Vercel is still deploying. We can go try to inspect it and just kind of wait to see if it goes out of memory. If it doesn't go out of memory, we are done. That error is fine. That turns out I was actually hyper fixated on this error, and AI told me it didn't matter, and that was great. And it turns out, yes, it does not matter. I assumed because it was red text, it was important. Nope. I'm sure everybody is very reassured that Elon seems to play video games, even if it's not always, him on his account. I'm sure everyone is very reassured he plays video games because that's a hard life when you're not allowed to play any games, I guess. Why don't we separate projects to each of us? Like when you sleep, me and Absi can work on it, and it makes us fast to move. Why can't we separate projects? Like, are you saying like you guys merge each other's PRs? You guys can, as soon as you merge good code. As soon as you merge code that's up. Look, I am not trying to micromanage, but if the code quality gets too low, you will be working on a project in circles for like years without getting anywhere. The code quality has to stay super high, and yeah, the fakes and all of this will help with that, but we're still building infrastructure. But yes, I'm a big believer in giving ownership, but the code has to be very high quality, or else the project goes to shit. Trust me, man. Like, this isn't my first rodeo with open source projects. I've run other open source projects. I've seen how they failed and where they succeeded. And a massive failure mode is letting your code quality get too low, where new contributors don't want to come in because the code is shit. The code gets too diverse in different sections. So you gave ownership to someone, they went off, they were like, oh, let me use this custom Vite plugin, right? Yeah, it's a big deal because you can't come back from that. It's hard to come back from that. You basically have to acknowledge there's a problem, rewrite an entire person's project, which has happened many times to me. We're still getting the out of memory issue. I think Terser can't handle run frame. I think it just can't handle run frame. So we're going to have to start getting creative here. We might need that custom Vite plugin. There's kind of two options. One, we use the custom Vite plugin, or two, we tell runframe not to load the URL, the blob URL. So yeah, those are kind of our options. So the blob URL contains tons of stuff from eval web worker. Why is it so big? Why is it so big? Let's check out the web worker code. So this is what makes up the blob URL. I mean, I'm kind of guessing that it has to do with the blob URL, but yeah, basically this eval web worker project builds this huge 33 megabyte bundle. 33 megabytes, this massive bundle. And this bundle has everything you need to build TS circuit inside of a web worker. So let's see what is in that bundle that takes up so much space. I'm trying to remember, because it's not like, it shouldn't be that big. Let me see. It is a big bundle to load. So if we can reduce that, where can I even find out? Let's look at the dependencies of this project, because maybe we can deduce from there. Comlink is for talking to web workers. There's Babel standalone. I don't know if that package is that big. Babel standalone. That's really bad, the 33 megabytes. It's very, it's basically bundling everything you need to run TS circuit. And from TypeScript, if we were just running TS circuit, it would be less than a megabyte. But we're running it given TypeScript, so we have to transpile TypeScript. I'm pretty sure it's just Babel standalone. I think this is broken, but let's try it anyway. So we're gonna do Babel /standalone. See if, oh, it works. They're saying it's only 2.7. 2.7 Babel standalone 2.7. That's not that big. I'm actually kind of confused. Why would it be so big? How can I do let's do a bundle size analysis instead of like looking for it in the code, which could take a little while. Build blob URL. So that's where we build the blob URL. This is when we build the web worker, platform browser. We do output a metadata file. So that metadata file can be uploaded to a bundle analyzer. So let's go ahead and do that. So I definitely knew this at some point and I've just forgotten. But let's see why this bundle is so big. So we've got somewhere in here, we should have a metadata.json file. Am I crazy? Where's the metadata.json file? Find.grep metadata. There's no metadata. It didn't work. Platform browser /metadata.json. Platform browser /metadata.json. Do you pay Vercel for large projects? We pay Vercel $80 a month with per seat pricing, so we don't really pay them much right now. I've paid Vercel a lot in the past, but I like their build services. I like Vercel for a lot of things. Yeah, I think I didn't like how the CEO of Vercel was sort of against Cloudflare because I really like Cloudflare. I think being against Cloudflare is a really dumb mistake just from an image perspective because Cloudflare isn't really, to me, doesn't seem like a hostile company at all. So that was disappointing. I know they compete, and so I understand you got to talk shit because you're competing, but honestly, he should have just not said anything because he kind of talks some smack. I would rather him be like more like a like a like a Musk Bezos sort of rivalry where like he talks about the achievements he's doing over the other person but also acknowledges their stuff because they both do a lot of like sort of edge machines or which is a dumb name but JavaScript isolate work, which is fantastic. They both do essentially what will be the future of web. So it's kind of disappointing to see them fight. But anyway, I like both platforms a lot. But they compete on enterprise sales. Okay, so TSUp isn't properly building the metadata.json file. I think it's missing a flag. Okay, let's see what they changed here. Entry? Nah, that's not right. It's maybe I over prompted it. Let's oof. What? Yeah. Why? How do you? All right. Bunx TSUp help. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We should be able to build a metadata.json package. Okay. So minify. We can use a minifier too to try to reduce that bundle size. Metadata. There's really no. Okay. TSUp, how to generate bundle metadata. Good viewpoint. Vercel edges out. Yeah. I don't know. 100% edges out. I can't tell if it's a pun, but oh my gosh. All right. Google's useless. Let's try Claude. Meta file. you have given Shibo the prompt benchmark thing like that. I think that's because it was isolated and he's done a lot of good work. And also Shibo files a lot of issues that are very electronics technical. So he knows what's going on. So, but it's not but you can get there. It looks like you need the meta file, -- meta file. So what we'll do is we'll build web worker analyze. So we'll create a script build web worker analyze, because I think when you do this meta file, I think the reason it was like partially removed is because I think it's quite expensive. It like increases the time it takes to bundle. Yeah, just like my the way like to get ownership is to like really like do stuff on your own that is very good quality, and you like understand all the patterns and stuff like that of the project, where I'm like, yeah, like if that person is left to their own devices, they will not create something that is unmaintainable garbage code. So like but you're getting closer. Like if you get the fake patterns down, stuff like that, you'll start to get ownership. I don't want to I understand like it's a little bit awkward because it feels like I'm gatekeeping, and I am sort of, but it's for the overall project health. That's why I do it. That's also why these streams are here, is like hopefully people can see a little bit about how I work, and then they, instead of solving things in really crazy ways, like one of the first things that was suggested was to create a custom Vite plugin and all of this stuff, right? Instead of tossing that in the Vite config, I was like, actually, let's analyze the bundle. Let's see why we even have a big URL, right? That's like, so my point is like, yeah. Like we're trying to be a functional community here. So sometimes that requires a hands-on approach. I forgot what I was talking about. Metafile ESM. All right, so we got a metafile here. So we should be able to upload that metafile. Okay, so upload metafile esbuild JSON. There should be bundle size analyzer. Yeah, okay. So we can upload to this esbuild website that unfortunately doesn't have a catchy name. Holy maholy, 78% CJS, 22% ESM. Okay, let's see what's so big. Okay, Babel standalone is actually much bigger than the other bundle analyzer said. It's 5.3 megabytes. 3JS is being bundled. I don't know why 3JS would be bundled. That actually is pretty strange that 3JS is being bundled. It shouldn't be. We have 2 React reconcilers, but that actually is fine. Schematic symbols should not be that big either. Why schematic symbols so big? Yeah. So we have, okay. You never know. All right. So reading bundles. So the file size is actually quite a bit. Oh, actually maybe it's okay. Let's get our numbers straight. So our web worker, no, this file says 33 megabytes. What the hell is going on? So the web worker is 33 megabytes. The blob URL is 44.4, and that's always going to be a multiple of this index file, right? The blob URL is a multiple of this file, because the blob URL, if we were able to load this file, it would just be a long string. It's just a stringified version of this index. No ownership, like I'm talking about to help you. No, that's what ownership in a software development context. Ownership is basically means you can merge and stuff like that, and you can like it's like a higher form of autonomy. Ownership is. It's not literal ownership. Our code is MIT licensed. There's not really a formal ownership. Technically, our code all has TS circuit attribution. So So if we look at the license text. Oh, wow, huh? This core module doesn't have a top level license file. It only has the package JSON license text. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this needs to get the license file. Oof. Oof. But anyway, if you look at the license text, almost all, I am very surprised to see this. Yeah, that should be on 2024. But the license text contains a copyright for TS Circuit. So TS Circuit Inc. technically owns the code. This is kind of awkward because this repo, for whatever reason, did not have this. But our other repos do. For example, TS Circuit main, etc. Yeah. So we have this license text, TS Circuit Inc. So technically, TS Circuit is the owner, but that's not what we're talking about when we talk about ownership. Yeah. I don't know why I gave such a long talk. I kind of discovered mid-talk that we had all of our licenses should have MIT. If a repo doesn't have MIT, that's a problem. Yeah, and I'm kind of annoyed actually that core didn't have that. Core is definitely supposed to have that. Okay. Input files, each output file, click on a node to expand it. Okay, all right. Getting back to it. Okay, so for some reason it says our bundle is 11.4 megabytes when it's actually 33. So I don't know what's going on there, but everything is probably proportionally correct. Let's take a look at a couple other the visualizations. So Babel standalone, I really don't know if there's anything we can do about that. I don't know if you can reduce Babel. 3JS shouldn't be in there, so that'll be interesting to see why 3JS is included. Hey, Sevi, what are you doing? We're trying to... we have a Vercel out of memory issue, and we're investigating to see if we can reduce the size of some big packages to make it so it doesn't go out of memory. Do you have a Steam Deck also? Yes, I do. I have a Steam Deck, and I now have, as of like a month ago, I have a Windows computer. Switch to HTMX. What? What did you just say? Mr. Magnetic, you must be new here. We are a React project. I'm not going to switch to HTMX, okay? All right, that's going to be my final word on that. I'm trying to I got my ashwagandha, I'm in a chill zone. I'm just kidding. I do have like a bunch of Brian Johnson supplements, and I guess ashwagandha is one of them. So I guess sometimes I am on ashwagandha. If you guys don't know, ashwagandha is supposed to relax you. Triggered mode. Yeah, for some reason, JSCAD Fiber is requiring 3JS. React 3 Fiber. That's so strange. Is that really? That shouldn't be required. I'm trying to like think through all of this. It shouldn't be required. Let's get rid of 3JS from this bundle. Hopefully we don't break anything, but I'm 99% sure that shouldn't be required. I think somebody filed an issue for this too, and they didn't follow through. So somebody could have gotten ahead of this, could have gotten ahead of me suffering through this issue right now. But you just filed it. You just left the issue there and you walked away. You walked away. All right, so let's see. 3. Okay, so this module the issue goes deep. So this guy doesn't use 3JS directly, but some of its dependencies are saying they require... Oh, wait. React Fiber is using React Fiber. Well, that's not right. That's not right. What the hell is going on there? We are inside of React Fiber, and it's saying that it has a subdependency, JSCAD Fiber. But it's not in the package JSON. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. Let's nuke the node modules. Let's reinstall. I think npm ls might work off of... Okay, now Three.js isn't required. Let's just update this repo to bun. I think there might have been some weirdness in the package lock. But there's no... Three.js is not required here. So... You know what? Actually, I might have been in the wrong repo there. I think I was confused. I think it was in the totally wrong repo. I think this is the right repo. I get confused. There's so many fiber. Oh no, I was mid update to this repo too. This repo has some issues. You know what? Should we just do it? One big PR to end them all. I was doing a React 19 upgrade for this repo. Oh, that's going to be such a pain in the ass, though. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's put a pin in that. So React 19 upgrade. We're going to create a draft PR with our work there. Because so our current position with TS Circuit is we're going to be React 18 and 19 compatible, because it turns out React 19 is very beta. React has a fix for that called HTMX, so I'm told. Do you do yoga sometimes? I do sometimes do yoga. Thoughts on Primeagen? I don't think about them often. I know I'm not a big consumer of code streamers. I know they're out there, and I like that they're out there. I think it's good. But I'm not a big consumer, so I can't really give my thoughts. I think he writes Rust, right? And Rust is like okay. I don't know, or maybe he writes Go. I don't remember. All right, we got a branch. We got a draft PR with our React 19 fiber upgrade. So now we can go back to main and we can see what is requiring 3. So we're just separating these issues. That's another thing with contributors is like get good at working on multiple branches and doing multiple things at the same time. Because so many people are like, oh, I'm waiting on this PR before I do the next thing. Just do another branch. Ashwagandha, use weed. Look, man, I just do whatever Brian does. All right. Okay, it looks like Three.js is coming from this React 3/fiber dependency. So, yeah, let's take a look at this package JSON to see how it works. So, yeah, okay, very interesting. So, TS up, how it works is, this is interesting. Okay. So TS up will bundle any dev dependencies that you have. It's going to auto bundle it if you require it. So we need to figure out why it's being required and basically stop it from being required. I can't think of where this would be used though, React 3, because this repo doesn't actually render to 3D. Let's see. We've got a fixture with it. It shouldn't be part of the bundle. Let's nuke the node modules again. Just to see if we can clean this up, and we can't, but that's okay, we tried. Yeah, this is pretty strange. I love how every stream I'm just in dependency hell for like the entire stream. I've also heard that migrating from React to HTMX will boost subscribers. Ashbro, please provide good to him. What is going on? You know, I used to use a tiny bit of HTMX, but it's not like I feel like people don't understand that React is just way better than everything out there by like a huge margin. Like if like React is really on a completely different like scale, like level, you know what I mean? It's not, nothing else even counts as an alternative, React is literally a declarative programming paradigm. I'm not saying this as like, you know, like, I'm saying this as a person who's correct, is what I'm saying, you know. Yeah, we have the latest version of this. This is so weird. Why is this happening? JSCAD Fiber is, for some reason, has this dependency on React 3 Fiber, which is causing it to leak into the bundle. This is so weird, too. If I'm reading this dependency graph properly, it's got, it's saying there's like 2, 3, I don't know. JSCAD Fiber requiring 3. I feel like I'm probably missing something obvious. JSCAD Fiber is a dev dependency. Why is it getting bundled in there? All right. We're not going to spend too long on this, but it's not listed as a dependency. I mean, if we wanted to be really crazy about this, we would just use TSUp node. TSUp node won't bundle any dependencies. We could try that. So first we'll build with TSUp, just plain TSUp. We're going to break so much stuff right now because it's also bundling CJS, which I'm trying to switch everything to ESM. So we're definitely going to break a lot of stuff. Yeah, what's up with this? JSCAD view, lib components JSCAD view. Oh, wait. JSCAD modeling. Oh, 3JS is imported right there. Okay, I understand now. 3JS is literally being uploaded. Convert CSG to 3 geometry. Okay, interesting. Convert CSG to 3 geometry. Okay. Okay, I understand. Use JSCAD renderer. JSCAD fixture. Okay. Okay. We gotta do a diagram, but I understand. So normally when we're, we got a lot of stuff in my Excalidraw. So normally when we're building JSCAD or TS Circuit Core. So TS Circuit Core is bundling 3JS, and we're wondering why. And the reason is JSCAD Fiber, which is a layer that converts things like Cube, like a React version of Cube, into a JSON object. So it doesn't inherently require any 3JS stuff. I think it's something like this, op cube. That's all it needs to do. That's all it does in the context of TS Circuit Core. But this also exports some other methods like convert CSG to 3 geometry. And that's causing 3JS to get bundled. So it's kind of like this. That's where it comes from. So I think what we're going to do is separate out the dependencies. So we'll say that if you import JSCAD Fiber, you get this, but then if you import slash, maybe just /3. So if you import JSCAD Fiber /3, you'll be able to get these other exports, but we don't want to bundle these exports together. So that's basically it. Can you explain React Fiber and a Fiber node to me? I feel like I wouldn't be able to do it super well verbally. I think AI might be able to do it better. Maybe I'll ask AI on stream. But in a nutshell, let's see. What is React Fiber? Let's see what it says. I got a test token working using JOSE. I don't know how to pronounce that. I want to say Jose, but that's probably not how to pronounce it. Do we need to make a change on the back end or some kind of environment variable that switches between them? You're talking about autorouting.com. So with session auth is the middleware. And yeah, it reads, decodes. So I guess it doesn't do any validation. It just does decoding. And then our production one actually puts it together. So you got a test token working using Jose. Can we make it default? Change it on backend. Need some kind of environment variable to switch between them. There's no you've I feel like I left a comment in the PR that was like for their Git test server. So for every project we have Git test server, and this is where you like fixture your environment. So literally right here you would say process.env tscircuit auth token equals, and then you would do some default user. That's what you would do. If you're testing the CLI locally, you might need to introduce a command like you might need to set the environment variable for the CLI. I don't know how the config work. How does the config work right now? I was trying to look this up earlier. Maybe it's in the lib directory, something with a config. I don't know where the config handling code is. Maybe you're introducing it in your PR, but when somebody tries to get the auth token, like maybe you just want to introduce a function get auth token and it uses the environment variable before it uses the config, and that's how you basically get away with never referencing the config. But switching between them, like, are you saying like in your local testing you want to switch between them? If you want to switch in your local testing, I would just use an environment variable. It's kind of hacky. You could also we do this with the free routing CLI. We have like multiple configs available, so you can like you can like switch the profile of your config. So that's a little bit more complicated, but that is but that's a decent way to do it. Yeah, sorry, Abzi. It's a little bit tough because there's a couple of use cases. There's like the CLI use case, there's the API use case, and I'm just trying to parse because there's different things you do in each use case. I don't know how helpful that is. maybe I should hop on the Discord live channel. Whoops. If you do want to chat about it more, I will be in that channel. Yeah, so React Fiber breaks it down into smaller chunks. Yeah, so fibers are like these small little chunks of work. Yeah, so it's basically just how React works internally. And having a React Fiber layer means you implement all the things you need to do a custom layer of React. Yeah, so that's React Fiber in a nutshell. It's how we turn things like cube into JSON or 3D objects that can be used. You know, what extension do you use to annotate SS on a browser? Screenshots? Flameshot. I use Flameshot. All right, so let's build this alternate export out for JSCAD Fiber. Try to minify our bundle a little bit. I feel like this probably won't be enough. If we look at our bundle size breakdown, it doesn't seem like 3JS. 3JS is, it's meaty. That of our 33 megabyte bundle, that's got to take up like 6 or 7 megabytes. So we're gonna trim like 7 megabytes out. But I don't know. I still don't know if it's gonna be enough. You can see we're bundling 2 React reconcilers here. We have to do that. There's no way around that right now because of React 19 support. Super unfortunate, but there's I can't think of any way to fix that. It sucks that it's so big. JSCAD, that's all of our 3D support. Yeah. Schematic symbols is too big. I don't know why it's so big. It's just a bunch of data. Shouldn't be that big. I don't know. Maybe Yeah, I don't know. There's probably a way to compress that. maybe the numbers are taking up too much space. Um, yeah, and Babel, there's nothing we can do about. So I don't know. Maybe this whole thing isn't necessarily worth it. Um, so yeah, all right. I'll create an issue for this. I want to do this, but I'll create an issue instead of doing it because I'm not sure we'll be able to kill enough. We might be, let's say ambitiously, we kill 10 megabytes. We still have 40. That's from 40. That's like still 30 megabytes. I don't know if it's going to fix the Vercel out of memory issues for the minifier. So we'll make the issue as separate functions that require 3JS into separate entry points. We should export 2 entry points. One includes functions and components that use 3JS. This will allow core to not have 3JS as a dependency. We'll give that a $20 bounty. It's a pretty easy issue, but it's whatever. Okay. So let's go all the way back to the top. Let's assume we can't fix that bundle size. And this code is basically making Vercel run out of memory, but only when Cursor is used. So there's so many ways to fix this problem. Like one is that custom Vibe plugin, but there's another solution available. It's that blob URL I've been talking about. So this is like 40 megabytes you're importing right there. So if we just didn't import this, if we dynamically fetched it, we wouldn't need this dependency. The problem is this kind of makes runframe not like work so simply. If it doesn't bundle that URL, that means that the user has to provide it. Which runframe was kind of supposed to simplify the whole thing by just bundling it for you. So I kind of don't want to change that. What came first, the hat or the Harry Potter glasses? They're not really Harry Potter glasses. They're not strictly circular. So your insult deflects off me as if it was nothing. It's pretty funny though. Also, Harry Potter doesn't wear a hat like this. I don't remember which one I got first. It would be a lot easier to dynamically load this. But then this wouldn't work locally. We could also, by default, dynamically load blob URLs. So that's another interesting idea. We would have to pick a CDN that we trust. When you need to trust a CDN, who's the best JavaScript CDN? I feel like JS Deliver, as weird as their name is, that's probably the first I think of. So we can try to use these guys. Yeah, they also own esm.run, which is esm.sh, but yeah, but run by these guys. It's just funny to me because like there's like a little competition going on there, and I don't know what they're competing for. I don't know how much money there is in this. You know, like it's a free CDN. It's always been free to me. What are these guys competing on? Like I don't know. They wanna have all this traffic. Well, like why? Like what do you get out of it? Maybe enterprises like it. I don't know. Anyway, so if we modify this URL, we should be able to find So I should be able to type tscircuit/eval webworker at a version, but let's see if it works without a version. So I'm just doing eval webworker. And it looks like we got our bundle. Oh, and it comes minified. They actually minify it for us. That's pretty cool. So we got our bundle, but we actually need to kind of dive in deeper. We need to get this blob URL. So I'm going to try to do /blob URL. Let's see if that works. There's a good chance this doesn't work. Yeah, can't find requested file blob URL. So it's not able to scan the exports. So we're gonna have to go. A little deeper. JS Deliver ++. Big fan of JS Deliver. A lot of JS Deliver fans in here. How do people even know this stuff? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like CDNs have fallen in vogue almost. You know, is that the right? Am I using that word right? Vogue. They're not as popular. Bootleg Harry Potter glasses. Not gonna. Maybe. It's an ego thing. They want to do it better. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you know, why fall behind if you can just offer it? If you're a trusted service. It is pretty funny to me, though. ESM run, ESM.sh, two competing things. Yeah, and then we serve... we use a similar technique to serve tscircuit from our registry. So esm.tscircuit.com is also a registry that runs a similar thing, but we only do it for our packages. But both of them were an inspiration. I mean, I would say ESM.sh was really the inspiration. I think they did it first, but, you know, hey, we like JS Deliver. Okay, so if we look at the exports here, we can see the actual location of the file is dist/blob-url.js. So we should be able to put that into our JS Deliver URL and get the file. It's probably going to be massive, so this is going to take a while to load. It's like 44 megabytes. I was randomly building some embedded script POC, so I found JS Deliver suitable for it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so this is our this is my password. No, I kid. This is our web worker bundle. And this is the reason why Vercel is breaking. That file is too big for Vercel. So we are able to load the latest version automatically. But it does suck that... Yeah, it does suck that blob URL would have to be a parameter. But yeah, this sucks. Like, basically, if you install a package, you expect it to work offline, right? You don't want to have to put anything in it, but I think I just got to make a compromise here because it's so complicated. And, like, you know, I could also like upgrade to enterprise Vercel and get more RAM for my worker. I think they only give you 6 megabytes. Is that right? Sorry, 8 gigabytes of RAM. So that's why it's running out of memory. But anyway, we'll have eval webworker blob URL. And then if the user doesn't provide it, we will set one by default. So I'll use this. What's the operator? Is that valid operator? I think that's the operator. No, that's not the operator. Hold on. What am I talking about? The operator is this. That's the operator. So if it's not defined, we're going to use the latest eval webworker blob. And then down here, instead of our static definition, we'll use the prop. So users of RunFrame are now going to get different behavior depending on how old their thing is, unless they statically bundle it. So what we'll do is we'll add a section in the README telling people how to, you know, not bundle it in. There's so many problems with this because, like, sometimes you're not allowed to load stuff from a CDN like that. So we might have already broke it. We should actually test if we broke it, because if we broke it, we won't even do this. So I'll add a section to usage. That's no longer relevant. So providing the blob URL to avoid loading TS circuit from web worker from CDN. Okay, I'm just gonna leave a note there for now. I'm not gonna do the full thing. Let's see if this works. Please work. Yay, it works. Okay, so the the only, oh no. Oh no. I think this is a React 19 issue maybe. So anyway, you can't modify props sometimes now. I've noticed you can't modify props. So that's okay. We'll do this in a more pure way. So we'll say const eval web worker blob URL equals props dot. I don't like having duplicate variables like that, but whatever, it's fine. And then down here, we will say, there we go. Okay, let's see if that fixes it. Yay. Oh, it's broken though. Oh no, security error. God. Failed to construct worker. Script at blah, blah, blah cannot be accessed at localhost 5050. This could be a CORS error if the CDN, but the CDN should be cool about CORS. I don't see any errors in my console related to CORS. Yeah, I don't see any CORS issues. Why does the backend need more than 8 gigabytes of RAM? The Vercel build server does because it runs Trsor, which is a JavaScript minifier, against this giant blob URL and it breaks. That's not my fault. You know, it's like Trsor is it uses a ton of memory. I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, and they don't like us using the CDN. Failed to construct worker. I think there's a thing where because of Bitcoin miners, perhaps people don't like it when you load web worker scripts from URLs unless it's like specifically allowed. Yeah. I was randomly building some embedded POC. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm rereading. Yeah, let's see what Claude says about this. How can I load my web worker script from a CDN? I'm pretty sure I already did this whole dance. They're saying it's a CORS error, but I didn't see anything in the network console. What? Creating a blob from the content. Fetch the worker script content from the CDN. Create a blob from the content. Convert the blob to a URL that can be used to create the worker. We already created a blob URL. It's the whole fucking point. Is that file is a blob URL. All right, whatever. Okay. The CDN must have CORS enabled. JS Deliver supports CORS. Yeah. All right. So basically what it's saying is don't pre-process to create the blob URL. Just make it on the fly. Oh, this is interesting. Worker.add event listener. Clean up blob URL when the worker is terminated. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I don't think I do that right now. Okay. Man, am I really doing this? All right. Is there really no... Is there no way? Is there no way? Okay, so if I understand this correctly, we're building a couple things in this repo. We're building the web worker index, which is what the blob URL does. So that's what we're going to load instead of the script that executes to get the blob URL, which is good on bandwidth. So that's fine. So we're going to load that script and insert it. But this should really be able to be done automatically by our eval web worker. So we might be able to get some simplicity out of this. So let's see. Let's start with a test. And we're kind of like bypassing a course restriction. It's like, why even have the restriction if there's such an easy bypass? I don't know. Yeah, what is going on here? Like, what's the point of this bypass? What's the point? Why did they make it so difficult? Like, I don't know. Whenever you ask AI, it's more work. Yeah. Can you save the blob L and load it while it's saved or streamed? Can you save the blob L and load? I think that's what the AI is suggesting. Autism Gaming. Why would you pick a name that like I feel controversial for saying on stream? I feel like I'm gonna get like flagged by YouTube just for saying your name. Don't know why I like to watch your stream. I really do. I really will watch anyone's stream. Okay, compliment and insult. Complisalt. Is it a bun issue? I don't think it's a bun issue.
But there is a lot of bun issues though.
There are a lot of bun issues.
Yeah. So, hey, first of all, did you answer my question that I sent on live chat?
I think so.
I wasn't here.
You
I was
left.
AFK, sorry. I was AFK for a good reason.
I think I did answer it. I think I did. Yeah, I talked about. I mean, I don't know what you heard, but I talked about basically like there's a different use case for the API versus CLI. So it's kind of annoying to test locally, but I guess I just need to understand your situation a little bit more. So yeah, all right, let's pull that up. Let me finish this test, or at least bootstrap what I want to test so that it's easy to come back to this, and then we can dig into that. So what we're gonna say is in create circuit web worker, if we don't provide the web worker URL, we're going to try to have this guy load it from a CDN automatically. It looks like it does try to do this actually. Wait a second. It does try to do this automatically. Web worker URL or this. Oh, but it's loading it directly into the worker. So you can't do this. You're never going to have permissions to do this. So it needs to be smarter about how it loads it in. But it looks like we're already, thinking with our heads. Okay. So this test is basically already written. It's just you don't provide the web worker as a URL, and we just need to adapt it. So adapt to use a fetch, then blob URL transform. That's gonna be pretty easy. Okay. And we'll draft. I like to do a draft PR when I'm. So we'll just call it dynamic load. Dynamically load the web worker blob. Something I don't like about just working with Git in general is I feel like I write the same thing a couple times. Like it's like, oh, commit name, PR name, branch name. Like it's like you're coming up with all these same versions of saying the same thing. AI should come in for at least one of those. Oh, you don't watch anyone else's stream. Okay, so that it is a compliment. I am Autism Gaming. This man is innocent. I love it. If they come to court, I will vouch for you. Thank you, Autism Gaming. That's because it's your legal name, right? So you'll come to court and you'll go, ah, and everyone in the courtroom will be shocked. Okay, Absi, let's get into it. If you're still, are you still here, or did you leave again? Did you leave right after I engaged?
No way. Sorry, boss. Very bad.
Okay, all right, so let's talk about this. Uh,
Yes.
so
So,
yeah, go ahead.
yep. So my only issue now is I'm doing upload the tests using the real uh, endpoint, and it fails because I don't provide because the GitHub CI don't provide authentication. I have a token because I logged in with TSI
Yeah.
TSCI. So I created I didn't pull it yet. I created using AI. I created a test token using JAWS. So it works. I tried it. It works without needing for a token now. So should I just is this the right approach? Should I just switch between them using these these tests? So should I switch between them like using an EMV like boolean something
Y-
variable?
yes, but okay. Let's do a little bit of this together because you're basically on the right track, but you don't need to generate that token with AI. I'm blown away that it works, but you don't need to generate it with AI. It's
Yeah.
like, one or two lines of code to generate a token on the fly. You can just do it. So the thing I'm most confused about is, are you trying to get test to pass? Are you trying to test the CLI locally and like get that to work? Because when you test the CI locally, ideally you're not using the production server. Ideally you're using the fake, right? Because then you can kind of like use your work, right? Um, so,
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, I'm just trying to understand like what you're trying to do. Are you just trying to get test to pass right now?
Yeah, just so the endpoint of update file, it has an authentication. It has an authentication token. It needs an authentication token. So basically, when I test, I use that endpoint, the fake endpoint, but it uses a real TSCI token to authenticate. I think that's the issue because when the workflow start testing, it hasn't doesn't have that token. I don't know.
The workflows start testing. Do you mean like bun test? Like bun
Yeah.
test? Are you saying it only doesn't work on CI? Whoops. I have to install.
I mean, yeah, I mean like if you don't have a authentication token from TSCI, it's gonna throw an error. That's the issue.
So all you have to do to fix this is set a test token in here.
So
So you
the
can
token,
literally
yeah,
do
test token.
like this. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
So you literally just do this, and then to get this token, it's actually already created. It's down here. So you can just copy this. That's where the token is created.
Oh. Yeah. I feel embarrassed now, bro.
No, you're good. No, I mean it's tough because we do library development, we also do server development, all of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, are you hacking me? Says Kodo PY. Hell yeah, dude! I got your friggin' Bitcoin, bro. I got your Bitcoin now. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Live streamers got your Bitcoin. Yeah, I can push this to your branch if you. Oh, I'm not on your branch, but I'll put it in a draft PR so you can see the diff.
Thanks.
Yeah, I try to. Usually, it starts like I'm explaining something on my phone, and I'm hoping people can get the gist of it, and then
I understand. Yeah.
yeah, because I know you've been working on this a while. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry you got held up.
Thanks. I got busy too.
Yeah.
I may held up 1 day or two.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, very cool. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
Thanks.
No problem. One
Okay,
Bitcoin.
I'm
Nah,
sorry.
dude, I got all the
Gotta go.
Bitcoins. Just one. Psh. Dude, this guy's loaded. Kodo PY. Kodo PY's got like 50 Bitcoins in there, or he did. I'm just kidding.
Okay, see you.
See ya, see ya. Hey, bro, sharing is caring. Give my share of 2 Bitcoin. You know, Unknown Traveler, you've been a good guy. I'll tell you what. I'm doing my this big crypto token release, and to participate, yeah, 2 Bitcoin, you can definitely get that. But to participate, just to verify you're real, you have to send me zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, which I think is a really great deal. So yeah, we'll do that. And anybody who wants to participate, it's a big giveaway. So I'm pretending to be a crypto scam right now. If you guys didn't, if you guys don't know that meme, if you look under any Elon Musk comment, you can get on the same page. Wow, thanks everybody for today. I got 100 messages on Restream. You know. Okay, adapt to use fetch. So we're gonna say this. Yeah, I basically wrote the whole implementation for us there. Oh, but we only want to do this. Hold on. If the web worker URL is not provided. Why is it converting it to an array buffer? I didn't even know you could do that. If configuration, no. Hold on. AI, slow down. You know what? I'm actually a little bit confused because the naming is not consistent. There's 2 types of source code. There is the blob URL, the precompiled blob URL, and then there is the what is inside the blob. So you have a script containing a blob URL, and you have what is inside the blob, and the AI is confused, and it's annoying. So we could either rename this variable, because I think this is going to be a blob URL. You actually have to provide a blob URL. So we should call it web worker blob URL. Yeah, we should call it web worker blob URL. I'm going to break a ton of stuff right now, but web worker blob URL, and then we'll say deprecated, renamed to web worker blob URL. I'll just deprecate it so I don't break as much stuff. Okay. Yeah, this will take a worker blob URL. I guess I'm using unpackage now too, because this code had unpackage. But JS delivery is cool too. I just TS Circuit coin I'm sending right now to participate. Oh my gosh. I would love to run, if it was really easy to do, I would love to have a TS Circuit coin actually. Because I can't get involved in crypto because I'm worried people will see the project, associate TS Circuit as like a crypto company or a crypto scam, and I'm also worried about being debanked because crypto founders get debanked. But I think it's a really good idea, just like if people believe in our product, that they can somehow own a stake in it, right? Because in the US, you're not allowed to have that many investors. You can only have, as a private company, a certain number of investors. Autism Gaming, you're saying it's pretty easy to do. Tell me more. How do you do it? I don't think I would do it because of the debanking and because it's like I don't want to accidentally because like I have friends in crypto. I think like crypto is cool, but if you fall into that classification, some people are just gonna be like hard no. Like we're like hard tech. Hard tech is cool. I'm totally fine being classified as hard tech, so I don't want to be reclassified. if a 13-year-old can pump and dump. I mean, I've started coins before in the past, so I know it's easy to start a coin, but I'm not sure, like there's also like you have like that Huac Tua girl who like accidentally, I think it was an accident, she scammed all those people, right? So like you don't want to accidentally do that, right? Whoa, you can just turn it into a blob directly? Worker blob URL create object URL. Okay, so that's our theoretical implementation here. So let's run our test, see if it works. I'm going to be pretty happy if this works because it's a pretty good enhancement. Oh, it timed out. It timed out. Loading all that data, perhaps. Loading the blob, making a blob object, or making an object URL on the fly might be expensive. Let's increase the timeout to 60 seconds. See if we can get it to work. I love how you guys can't read the terminal because there's so many chat messages. Let me see if I can move the chat messages like up here or something. I feel like that's less valuable. Honestly, these chat messages are like barely readable to begin with because of the lack of a background. So I don't know. I'll just put it up there. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about those. Happy little accidents. Yes, happy little accidents. This is definitely a case of a happy little accident. If it actually improves things, if we're able to get it to work. It's a happy little accident. If it's not, I am frustrated that I've wasted yet another couple hours. That should have worked. I feel like I set the timeout. Oh, it's in milliseconds, isn't it? 60,000. Stream the data into a blob. That's what I'm doing, dude. We can make something like TS Circuit Coin, like whenever people blah, 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 blah on social media. Are you a return await kind of guy or a return make the caller await kind of guy? It's a good question, John Kate Marston. Probably whatever is less code. So yeah, I'm not big return await. Why do I have a return await somewhere? Honestly, I don't care that much about it. But that's a funny question actually. I like that. You take a day off TS Circuit and build streaming tools like chatbot, etc. I maybe should. We will give them merchandises. Okay, I'm going. Goodbye, Rohit. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, it worked. It just took 45 seconds to load. That is quite a compromise. That is a long time to load. Now I'm starting to freak out. That's pretty long. I'm like worried. Let's try JS deliver and see if it was. We don't know what the speed was. It could have been processing or it could have been the time to fetch. How big is this bundle too? Oh yeah, we can take out some variables just by curling it, right? Can literally just curl it. Okay, it did a redirect. How do I get curl to follow redirects? Follow the redirect. Okay, that's not super helpful because I want to profile it. How can I profile the time it takes to request a URL with curl? Distract the user while it's loading. Ask the user how the day is going. What's their favorite color? How big is the package? Probably 30 megabytes. Okay, that seems overly complicated. Time name. What the? I don't need all that. I don't need all that. Come on, man. Oh. I'm trying to get the URL. Hold on. This is hard to copy because of the way I did it. All right. Copy this part out. And then we're going to paste this part. Okay. That went really quick. That makes me think that it is not unpackaged or whatever. I'm glad I didn't run that test. I think it's either this res.blob thing or it's this create object URL. So let's just log some timestamps. So I'll say date.now. We're going to be really lazy about this, right? Oh, we could also, it could be loading into the worker too. I should probably add some text to these, huh? Let me see. Is there somewhere where the worker actually like is initialized? I don't think so. So it's got to be initialized here. Okay, let's add some annotations to make this better. So worker initialized. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna take 5 seconds to make this kind of clean. We'll have a start time, and then we'll log the delta between the starts. So we don't need this one. And then blob fetched, and we'll say start date.now minus start. So that's gonna give us the number of milliseconds in starts. So this is like poor man's benchmarking. I don't know why the AI wrote that. Starting worker initialization. We don't really need this one either. It's redundant with the last one, but that's fine. Worker initialized. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Whoa, you can just use console.time A and console.time B. John. You friggin' hero. Wait, why did that load so fast this time? Am I going crazy? Maybe. Oh, guys. The unpackaged CDN didn't have us cached. We're cached now. Baby. So it's fast because we're cached. I don't know what happened with this last one. I think I forgot to do start minus. Let's check out that John thing, though. That thing John was saying. That's pretty cool. If that works. Time start, time end. Do I have to have the same variable in there? Oh, you got to do the same blob fetched. Dude, that's a cool feature. That doesn't do effing shit. What the hell? Oh, I did time start twice. Hold on. Time and then time end. Time and time end. Weird API. I don't like that. I don't like that API. I think that's bad API design. I think this is bad. Let's talk about this for a minute. Why this is bad API design. But this is an awesome feature that I'm definitely going to use. I'm not going to protest it on the basis of their API design. But this is a bad API, and it's bad in a lot of ways. Probably people don't see it as a bad API, but this is a bad API. Okay. Let's talk about why time and time end is a bad API. Two main reasons. One, it is not independently unambiguous. Okay, so the presence of time does not imply the presence of time end, and time end does not imply the presence of time. If it was time start and time end, it would be independently unambiguous. Okay, so that's part one, and you always want to have independently unambiguous. That means a lot of times when you're introducing a new variable, you want to introduce a second one that has a different prefix. Yeah, as a side note, this web worker name, I was going to comment on the PR, but I was like, this should really be comlink worker or something like that, just to make it a little bit better, the ambiguity between this, because this one is technically a web worker. So a lot of times what people do, they like rename some, or they don't rename, they introduce a new variable, and they like don't make it independently unambiguous. So that's the first thing. That's the first reason why this is not a good API. The second reason, which is which is also very interesting, is it's not a verb or noun. It's not clearly a verb or noun. So if you're doing something, you usually want to pick a word that is going to imply a verb for a function or a noun for a variable. And you don't want to pick words that can work for both. So time is really more of a noun in traditional usage. It's also a verb, but it's kind of more of a noun. It's definitely used more often as a noun. You have to consider that in API design. So the best name for this would be start time and end time, because those are a little bit more. Start is more clearly, but you know, even this is a noun. So if you really wanted to make it better, you would have to find an alternative that makes time always a verb. Something like time. What's a better word than time? It would be like start. Actually, I mean, start. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. You know what you could do? Start and stop. Start and stop. That's pretty good. Start time, stop time. The problem is it does kind of imply, like if you did, yeah. The problem is start time is often, this could be seen as an adjective noun. Yeah. Trying to think of how you could like make it more verby. I used to spend hours and hours on this stuff when we were building a Seams API. But that's how you do good API design. You literally would think about this for a long time, and you can also plug it into AI, and AI is really good at helping you with API naming now. It can give a lot of suggestions. Yeah, it would be like, yeah, I can't think of anything right now. It doesn't, if you said something like start clock and end clock or stop clock, those are very clearly verbs. Start clock, end clock. Those aren't a variable. It wouldn't make sense to have a variable start clock equals. It does make sense to have a variable start time equals. So start clock is slightly better. But I don't really like the word clock. It's not very conventional for benchmarking in industry. So, you know, I don't have all the solutions, but yeah. Okay, we did a little bit of renaming. This example, because it uses a CDN, I don't normally, there's not many tests in this test suite, but I like to skip because it uses network. So I don't like to use network in my tests. That being said, it might be okay just because there's only 6 tests, so I think it's okay, but should skip. I'll just say to do should skip. And when this repo gets a little bit bigger, we will skip it. Okay, yeah, dynamic loading of web worker. I do think this will be a happy accident. I think Imposter Engineer was right. I do think that this will end up being a happy accident. Because we weren't going to go down this road. We were going to build a custom Vite plugin. If I just listened to AI, I would have built a custom Vite plugin. But I used my friggin' noggin. Something some of you guys should try. Use your friggin' noggin. Time me real good. Time me. Time me. Time me. Time me is okay. Time me is okay, except you. Well, okay. So it's okay in that it doesn't violate the 2 rules I think I just said, because time me is pretty clearly a verb. That being said, me does not make a ton of sense. Like, you don't use I or me or have subjects like that in API design. It's a bad idea. We got a failure. Who failed? Oh, it timed out. Oh, right. Maybe we do skip then, because wait, why would this time out? Is it cached locally? Why would it time out again? I wonder how long unpackaged cache is for. I also wonder, let's look it up. Unpackage versus JS deliver. Unpackage has 1% versus 27%. Maybe we go with JS deliver. I hate to, not help the little guy, but yeah, Sorry, dude. I just want those scale benefits. All right, so we're gonna flip this to use JS deliver. I hope the same URL works. You know what? Let's ask AI. make this a JS deliver URL. I wonder if that's changed. I'm curious how the market share has changed over time. This discussion is why I never get anything done. Yeah. If you think about API design long enough, like I feel like I've done like hundreds of hours in API design. If you spend enough time in it, it starts to feel a little bit more natural and you do get better. I'm a little rusty at the moment because I haven't had to do like much hard API design. When I was CTO at Seam, a lot of times I would only deal with the hardest issues, and that kind of sharpens your brain a little bit because it's only issues that make it to you. And that was pretty good. I think we found some really good API design disciplines because like you have things like if you look at Stripe's API, we would constantly reference Stripe's API as a thing not to do, like unpleasant experiences in Stripe, and they were very good at the time, but their API is actually quite bad for given modern consideration. Yeah, all right, so switch to JS Deliver. You could see even when it was uncached, JS Deliver was 8 seconds, and we saw like 50 seconds for unpackage. So starts with, starts end. Ansh, terrible. You've lost the subject. You've lost the purpose of the phrase. I like it. Hard Sevi 2025. I like hard tech. I do like hard tech more than versus the crypto. If you're gonna pick something to be associated with, because crypto also, oh my gosh, the T is still very strong. Crypto also operates very differently. The expectations for fundraising and the expectation on returns and liquidity from investors, it's much different. It's much more in my feeling aggressive. I think crypto companies have to think about finances a lot more than companies that are just trying to go out there and build a product. But I do like the idea. I do like the idea of having a coin. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe perhaps someday. You can see our tests are passing now with JS Deliver. So yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea that JS Deliver had so much market share. It was doing so well. Yeah. So maybe that's a good point for ESM run. But I'm surprised Unpackage can't do better than 50 seconds. I don't know. Maybe they're optimized in some way, but if you're running on Cloudflare or any of these, I don't know, maybe they don't run on Cloudflare. Maybe it's too expensive. I don't know. I wonder if it's really a product game that they're even playing, like, or if it's a scale game, like they just have to scale, and that's when things get better for them. Definitely, like, there are returns on scale on. I can't believe JS delivers 25% of the ecosystem. That's crazy. So we're waiting for eval web worker to deploy, and then we should be able to update it inside of Runframe, and then Runframe's bundles should go way down because it's loading the good stuff from the CDN. So I don't know. It usually just takes a minute. Eval web worker is the package. So we'll update that. 0072 is OnTick and OnTalk bad? I'm not a developer, so I just thought it was cool. OnTick and OnTalk is bad. Yes. OnTick and OnTalk is very bad. But it's a good. I'm glad you're participating. Okay, here's why OnTick and OnTalk are bad. Tick and talk don't have the meaning start and end. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is the prefix on has a lot of connotations around event handling, right? Like, so on some event name, on click, on key press, on data change. So you don't want to have that connotation. It's not really a proper verb. Sometimes it helps to write out the verbose version On God. Yeah. Thanks, man. I was just trying to help, and but that's what that's what people. We're all trying to improve, sharpen our skills, sharpen our naming skills, right? What is programming except naming things repeatedly? You know, what is it really, other than just fighting over names? I think I updated. Sometimes I get confused with all these windows. I think I updated the wrong dependency. So let's try that again in the right project. I think I updated it in this project, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I accidentally added it as a dependency to the project it doesn't belong in. Bun remove. I'm learning. I see. Ha ha ha. They are probably storing the files compressed and having to decompress them when you don't specify an accept encoding. So you're saying the CDN would get faster if I specified accept encoding? Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of interesting. I'm tempted to go back and do that. I think I'm gonna try to move on, but we'll see. Okay, so we're still getting an error. It says script CDN. Hold on, I gotta remember some stuff. How's this work? Yeah. Okay, so remove that. We don't need that. Eval. So basically it's fine if this is undefined now. That's basically the change we made. Is now if you don't provide a bundle, it's fine. Yeah, there we go. Oh, nice. That's loading from the CDN. Oh my gosh, so cool. Okay. I'm so happy about this just because the bundle sizes are now so much smaller for this module. If we look at the bundle size for this module, if we take a peek, oh, I don't have a built version right now. Sad. Sad. Yeah, I guess we're not going to really get to see the before and after. But let's build this and see how big it is. It should be really small now. It still has to bundle a bunch of stupid crap it shouldn't have to bundle because of the issues at the beginning of the stream we mentioned where 3JS was being required all over the place. Autism Gaming says, I'm trying to dull other people's skills, to be honest. We did it. My job here is done. Yeah, look how small these bundles. I don't know why it took that long to build. That's crazy. I think it's the website that is taking a while to build there. But you can see we are now quite small on the runner and preview size. Those are really, really good sizes. So let's ship it. And if somebody wants to provide the blob URL, they can if they want it to run locally without the CDN. So use CDN for web worker URL properly. I can't believe how long I've spent on web workers. There's a couple cans I wish I hadn't opened. One was 3D. Adding 3D support has been very, very difficult, and I wish I had opened it much differently. And web workers, also very painful, but I think this one is more worth it just because it's so much better when everything runs in web workers. Of course, I could have just written fast code so we don't need the web worker. So, it's regrets everywhere in all areas. Okay, so we're now going up through our sort of package dependency ecosystem until it works back to the tscircuit.com website. So we'll open this up. We'll check out the Vercel preview URL. Looks like we have some conflict, so we'll resolve that. Just get things nice and tidy. And if all goes well, this will result in sort of a web worker checkbox on tscircuit.com in minutes. We're minutes away from it if everything works. Okay. So we're just going to make sure all our dependencies are good. Do bun install. That'll fix our lock file. Okay. Merge with main. Push again. What did we learn about web workers? Well, we learned that you can't just put in a CDN URL into a web worker URL. It won't work. But if you fetch that URL and turn it into a blob URL, it will work. So take that, browser security. What is stupid? What is stupid? I'm gonna have to read why they did that. But what a stupid idea. If you can just fetch the URL, I can't fathom why they would do it like that. It's so crazy to me. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. People have been talking about, there's a lot of dialogue recently about how WASM is like not moving as fast or getting as many features as it should be getting. People are being overly conservative and not moving fast enough. And I'm starting to feel that way about some of the web standards. But TypeScript, the people who do TypeScript, I think do a really, really good job. I think it's really, really great how well that works. So I would, if I was doing open source governance, which I'm not yet because we're small, but eventually when we do it, I would like basically copy how that TS circuit committee system works and everything, because they seem to ship so well. Yeah, they're the only like like standards body that I'm like, oh wow, like really nailing it. I'm sure there are others, but yeah, and it might just be the backing of it. Sometimes this is the way, and that's it. Yeah, on web for sure. Another thing is like loading CSS in JavaScript is kind of a mess as well, in my opinion. It's quite messy. Like we're waiting on Vercel to deploy, by the way. I'm stalling for time, but it's quite messy how you load styles into JavaScript. Like it should just be a lot cleaner. Like there should be a load style thing or just something like load CSS styles. Because right now you have to inject a style tag, and as a result of having to inject that style tag, libraries like they bundle their CSS separately, and then you have to import their bundled CSS. And like if you have a library that builds on a library, you're sort of just screwed. Like it's just not something that's possible. So it's really crazy to me, the situation with, in particular, CSS bundling on the web. I don't know if anybody will understand what I'm talking about, but like even within this run frame project, we have a hook called I think use styles. And what this hook does is to get all the styles to style this run frame, you have to create a style element and inject the styles, which have to be compiled from Tailwind. And it's a bit of a mess. If you run bun install save text lock file, it will make your lock file a JSON file instead of binary. Yeah. Actually, I was looking to do that. That's pretty helpful. You know, John Marston, which is, I think, the character in Red Dead Redemption, right? Or Red Dead something. Am I right about that? But anyway, John has been very, very helpful this stream. Yeah, we need to change all of our lock files over to text lock files. Yeah, that's perfect. So I guess I will do that. I won't do it on this PR, but I'll do that on my future PRs, just because I want to merge this, and it takes forever to build. I was just going online to do a quick test to make sure we didn't break anything on the Vercel deployment, because we don't really have proper tests on that repo as a UI project. That's kind of new. No proper testing yet. Run frame. Oh, beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy we're going to ship this. So how this feature works, I think it's broken right now because of, no, it's working. It's just not bundling on Vercel. So it is working right now, but it's not bundling. So if you check this web worker box, it runs your circuit. It builds your entire electronic inside of a web worker, which is really great because the web workers are a lot faster. So hopefully we ship this in a couple minutes. I've been dying to get this feature out. There are a ton of problems with it, not like the scope, the code was really bad in snippets because I wasn't expecting snippets to become our website. That's what snippets is like tscircuit.com. And it was supposed to just be like a random project so that people could share TS Circuit code. But it ended up being like our main site just because it was way easier to have people collaborate together on a single project, more or less. Um, but yeah, the code is pretty bad in some parts, and one of the problems is the circuit JSON that's generated. That's basically like the intermediary format for representing 3D and everything. It's like the assembly language of circuits is probably the easiest way to think about it. We don't really need this suspense system anymore because this dependency is so small. So we're going to remove the suspense system probably as well. Or maybe it's okay. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure about that. I'm not sure what run frame displays when it's loading from the CDN either, because the CDN loaded too quickly for me to see. Uh-oh. Something broken? Why do I feel like this isn't working? Bunx Vite. I think Vite. Why is Vite broken? Oh, because I'm already running it? Oh, man, this sucks. This might be the end of the... Hold on. Ah, man, Vite sometimes completely borks if I run it twice with Bun. And I have no idea. I think I have to nuke node modules to fix this. Let's see if we can fix this. But like this is one of those problems where like I've literally had to restart my computer just because of some kind of like bad Vite cache thing. It's crazy. Let's do John's trick here. Install save text lock file. This is going to make all of our merge conflicts a lot easier. And we've got a bun lock now. And our bun lock B is still there. So let me remove that bun lock B. And yeah, now when we install, we don't get... Actually, this... hold on. Yeah, no, it's deleted. So yeah, that's good. All right, let's see if we can get Vite to start. There we go. All right, cool. Nuking node modules fixed it. That is not a fun issue. I like this board. I like ABSY's Arduino Nano Servo Breakout. I think this is a really cool board, and it's completely TS circuit. There's no, or it's completely, I should say it's completely synchronous. So there's no third-party autorouters being used, which is just kind of cool. So it takes a little while to render there. Let's run it in the web worker. So our web worker loaded. Okay, seems to be working. Didn't get the progress text there. Sometimes you don't get progress text. Let's check out the 3D view, make sure everything's working. Seems to be working okay. Is that it? Is that really it? Did we do it? Have we done it? I guess let's deploy to Vercel and see if Vercel gets the out of memory issue. Yeah, because I think it must have loaded from CDN. It's so quick. The CDN is so quick. It's like I was expecting... Uh-oh, what's that? Oh, I turned off the server to deploy to Vercel. So we'll wait for this Vercel deploy, and then if that works, we can merge this. .2 makes the JSON lock file the default option. Hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame them for why they did what they did, but it is a terrible DX. I think your first concern when doing lock files should be how do I make it so that if there's a merge conflict, it is super, super easy to resolve. So I'm looking forward to trying to resolve a merge conflict and hopefully it being pretty easy. Because packaged JSON merge conflicts are pretty easy to resolve. Honestly, I'm kind of in the camp where lock files should not be committed to repo. They should be bot generated and bot maintained. Like every time you add a dependency, there is a thing on the background that runs the lock file, checks for it, stuff like that. We all kind of fell on committing the lock file to repo, but I don't know. Because most of the time you can trust the CDN to always give you a clean version. But it's not the way the world went. I think we went with a more conservative, shitty option of having lock files. to everyone's detriment. But to be fair, it is kind of tricky to not have lock files, but it's already a centralized system on npm for the most part. So sometimes enterprises push their stuff a little bit. I think enterprises were like, hey, security attacks on npm, big deal. But it's like, npm has so many protections now. It's like, I don't know. Go. Let's see if we are looking like we're going to get out of memory. I don't know how we would get out of memory without that blob URL. This whole thing is kind of, I had a hunch that the blob URL was causing problems because it's like the biggest thing we load. If it's not the blob URL, we're going to be in a bad place because I have no idea what else would cause it. Just want to make sure that Terser is still on in this Vite config. Yeah, so we're still running the minification. That's what it's doing right now, I think. This is always where it breaks. Rendering chunks, it's doing the minification. So if it breaks here, that means that Terser used too much memory. I wish you could see your memory usage on the builder. So like I knew how close I was. Because right now I don't know, like, oh, is this going to break when I add like 10 more dependencies or something? You have no idea. Whew. Just waiting. It's quiet. It's quiet on Discord. Everybody's going to bed. Sorry, this is like the last thing I wanted to do, so I don't want to get too distracted. But, just waiting on Vercel to get a out of memory bug. Let's check the notifs. Let's see, CDN, it's my own notifs. I got to get these auto removed. Separate functions, yeah, that's good. That's what we worked on today. Implement a fancy loading page for all navigation. Why are people commenting on this? Somebody's already like doing this. Yeah, all right, cool. Create a license. Yeah, we want to merge that. It's quite annoying that was not in there sooner. Say again what you want to know. I don't remember. There's probably some stream delay. I have no idea. Size. What are we waiting for here? What we're waiting for is to see if it gets out of memory. That's what we're waiting for, because I literally can't build this project. I believe because of the blob URL, it was literally running out of memory. So it just pauses. What I want to know is how much memory is being used so I know how close I am. It looks like it finished. So it took that one operation took like 4 minutes, but we did fix the issue by moving the blob URL. So my suspicion was right. So that means we can now push this, and then later today we should have the web worker available, which will be awesome because there are some boards that are too big right now to render without the web worker. Web workers can run in the background much longer than the main thread. Okay, so I'll say update to text lock file, update to run frame version that uses CDN. Push that up. Go to the end of the build log again. Build cache. I don't know. I don't think there's any. The problem was we were running out of RAM. You can use AVIF instead of WebP for more savings with images. Our Lighthouse score is not bad right now, but that's good information for us to use AVIF instead. It's a good point. But some dude, Shiba, was working on this for a while. I did no work on this for the most part to get this page
a good lighthouse score, but I think he got it up to like 95, which I'm pretty happy with. We have a lot of work to do on SEO. It actually stresses me out to think about how much work we have to do on distribution, like to make sure that people can find resources on TS Circuit and stuff like that. I think what I'm going to do after the stream today is maybe just work on like basically like a book just about TS Circuit. Like I'm thinking about it like chapter by chapter, like just a book. Because you know, it's actually pretty like I think for a lot of electronics, it is actually a good bet to try TS Circuit right now. Obviously, like there's a lot of hardcore features it's going to take us a little while to get, but it's actually a really, really good idea to use it for a lot of things. So, but yeah, I mean, our lighthouse score is basically okay for now. I don't feel the need to optimize it too much more. I'm very concerned about some other pages that have really bad lighthouse scores. So, for example, this page, I think there's a couple. I think Absi might be working on this one, but this page takes too long to load because of this viewer. So we're swapping this page to load much faster. So yeah, it was RAM. Yeah, sheet. I agree. Sheet. Okay, let's see if we can get this merged. Use integrate run frame. Any merge conflicts? Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. I removed the lock B. The reason there's so many conflicts on snippets is because we have a ton of things that auto merge the latest updates to packages. Wait a second. It's complaining about versions. Let's see, do we have a merge conflict in here? Ooh, I don't see any merge markers. I think we're okay. I think it's just the bun lock file. Uh-oh. I got confused. Okay, hopefully I fixed that properly. Oh my gosh. I might just queue this PR to merge automatically because like there's so much shit going on. That is probably one of my least favorite things about like just having the auto updates, the auto dependency updates. We can see one. There's one going on right here, right? It wants to update all these things. If they merge before me, I'm gonna have to be really annoyed. And they're like, yeah, like it might merge as soon as these checks are done. So yeah, I really want to get my stuff in first. I want to beat the bot. I'm also, I think probably playwright tests are going to fail on this, but I'm going to merge through the playwright test just because. Oh, no, they're passing. Yeah, so it's literally just Vercel we're waiting on. Yeah, I think they're passing as of this PR. I don't see them failing here, so I think they probably passed. I might YOLO it. I'm going to YOLO it because I got to wrap up. I got to go get dinner with the wifey, the quote-unquote wifey. Hobby tier gets this amount of build, 8 gigabytes. Yeah. You only get 8 gigabytes. So I would have to switch to enterprise. So like if I was super loaded with cache, I would have just switched to 16 gigabytes of RAM and I wouldn't have done the whole CDN fix. But I'm glad I did the CDN fix. I think it's a good solution. The new lock file format works with Dependabot. It's in beta stage. I don't know about the others. You don't think it'll work with Renovate? That would suck if it didn't. That would mean we might have to roll back. Yeah. That's interesting. Well, we'll find out because this PR will auto update, and we'll see what happens. It's good though. We only have it on one repo, so a little beta testing. Our publish to npm failed. Let's see. Lock file had changes, but the lock file is frozen. So we've got a failure to publish to npm due to lock file changes. Okay, that's interesting. We've also got two, somehow the lock file got in there. The two lock files got in there. That's probably what's causing the issue. Remove binary lock file. I'm sure people, you know what else I'm thinking? A lot of people aren't going to have the latest version of Bun, and it might cause issues. I don't know how many versions of Bun this lock file has been available. I don't know. It's a pain. By default, the system generates this report only when it detects a problem to receive. Oh, interesting. Build system report equals 1. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Imposter engineer. That's I'm gonna take a quick note on that actually. Vercel build system report equals 1. That's pretty handy. Because then we could monitor when we're gonna exceed it again. I hope we're okay. It's mostly Terser that's causing the issue, which we're using for optimization. SQL 2K, yo, what up? Welcome. All right, guys. I know people are just coming in. Let's see if this gets live. Then should we wait for it? I'm getting hungry, guys. Well, it'll probably be there. It'll probably be there in a minute. So you can now check the web worker, use web worker box on TS Circuit snippets. Let's check it out. You should be able to check this box on tscircuit.com and build your stuff in the web worker. It's probably going to be very broken, especially if you're saving stuff. But yeah, it's super, super cool. If you click on render logs, you can also now see how much time was spent on different render phases. And so that can help debug performance issues. So super, super excited about this. Bun 1139. You can also add engines field to package.json to note what version. That's a good idea. Yeah, if we added engines, we can make sure that people don't run with old versions. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's actually a pretty frequent problem. I'm just like, yo, dude, upgrade your Bun. You got to be on the latest version of Bun. So yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Let's see. If we refresh this, is it going to update soon? I don't think it's going to get live. I got to eat some food. All right. Thank you everybody for joining, especially to the new people. John, good to see you here and participating. I think I learned a lot from you, so I really appreciate you. And I will see you guys next time. I'm doing daily live streams. So see